Hello, welcome to the Pursuit of Happiness. My name is Pastor Susanna Brown, and thanks for tuning in today and watching the next series of what I've been doing and teaching on with the Pursuit of Happiness. We've been talking about divorce, the condition of divorce, and Melbourne being the best city, in Australia or worldwide. Melbourne's one of the best cities or the livable cities in the whole wide world, believe it or not. Exactly where our ratings are, I'm not sure, but we're one of the best cities. We've been talking about the condition and the statistics of our divorce rates and how people have been divorcing like never before, and how every year and each year it gets higher and higher. Lately, I've been bumping into people that have either just gone through a divorce or are in the process of going through a divorce, or have had a 5-year divorce situation between them and their old spouse. And I've been talking about these issues because I feel it's time for us to grow as a nation, to grow as a city. Melbourne, it's time for us to wake up. It's time for us to realize that, yes, okay, we've been going through divorces like never before, but let's see what's behind those reasons. Why is it that we are, divorcing like never before, or having to opt out and make choices on the spur of the moment that once upon a time we would have thought about or meditated on. Lately I've been teaching about you and why you're created. In the last episodes I've been talking about you are a map. When God created you, He created you as a map. You're a journey. You're a journey in the making. There's not a coincidence that we are all called the human race. Why are we the human race? It's because you are a journey, you are a map, and you have to run the race that you were born for. By the way, this is my fan. The greatest fan. My greatest fan. I thought I'd make you laugh. Now, the human race is born to run a race. I've been talking about winning and how you have a winning streak. You were born to win. You were born for a race. You were born to run your own race. And the statistics and the divorce ratio that I've been showing is not about bad Melbourne, or it's not about me bringing a message of condemnation. No, it's about an awareness of the state of what it is and who we are as a people, and the state and the condition of how we as a people or a generation resort to making decisions without thinking of the repercussions for our next generations. The disappointment industry is full of hurting people that are looking for the next best quick fix. I know, because that's where I've come from. I've shared with you a little bit about my background, a little bit about my testimony, a little bit about me and how I pursued happiness. Going back to me, I'll give you a little, rundown about where I came from. I was only 7.5. My mother dies. And let me tell you, when she died, whether it was told to me or not, the hope of her returning grew stronger than the actual fact that she died. The hope grew stronger to the point where I felt I was going down a journey and a path where I was looking and wanting to fill the void inside my heart. Just like we hunger for food. I was hungry for that nurturing and that mother and someone to come to replace the love that my mother had once given me. So like I said, I knew she had died eventually, but the hope for her return grew stronger. And so I looked and went on a journey to find a replacement for my mother. And that journey went from 7 years up to 24 years. You do your calculations. that 17, I think that's roughly around 17 years. You know, that's a long time. You might be watching me today and you might be caught in a moment that's lasted you 20 years, 40 years. Someone died 20 years ago and you're still, caught in a moment that's lasted 20 years. I might be talking to someone today. You might be ringing Lifeline because you have anxiety attacks. Or, you're finding that you keep arguing with your parents or with your husband, trying to find someone to blame. You might be caught up in a moment that's lasted you 40 odd years. You're still mourning your son's death because you haven't moved on. And what am I saying today? Well, I'm saying I was where you were once. I was once where you are at right now. And I'm going to tell you now, it's time to let go. It's time to move on. I never, ever, ever thought that the 17 years where I was led down the garden path of searching for happiness, looking for a replacement for my mother, took me into dark places. It took me to America. I went to live in America 5 times. 5 times. I bought a ticket and I went to America looking for a new life, looking for something that would shun away or shut away Susanna's past. Melbourne represented my past. Melbourne represented my mother's death. Melbourne represented the giants of my past that I was looking to try and bury. You might be thinking today, Susanna, you're talking to me. I feel like that's me. And I want you to ponder and think about that. I want you to say, hey, that's me, Susanna. You're talking to me. You're talking to my life. You're talking to my spirit.